am a community worker, and I work with a project called FARAB. FARAB stands Family Reproductive Rights Education Program, which is, we help a lot of affected communities, actually, which is, sometimes we say it's also about, they say it's a violence. This is FGMC, which is go quite a lot back in Africa or other Asian country, actually. And I work also with other community as a member of African women. Yeah, well, I'm a secretary of also African women in the Southeast, and I do a lot of work actually with my community and other community. I work with different community because I speak Arabic too. My language is Somali, I'm Somalian, but I speak Arabic too. So I work with a lot of different community, trying to support a lot of community and work with also women who've been affected with FGM, also violence. I witness a lot of violence against women, and I work with them through that violence. And actually, violence is actually something is against everyone, not only women, against women, men, children, because even men witness violence, and violence is everywhere actually. And as a community, as a workers, as a leaders, it's our aim to support the community who is affected with this violence. And coming to this session, I learned a lot. I've been working for the last 16 years with women and children and families, but every day I learn a new thing. I met Aline a long time ago when she's giving a session about violence, and I always go, if there is any session about violence, I always go, just to learn one word will help me. So I do a lot of work with my community, and I do a lot of work with youth, with young people, and I'm actually proud to be a community leader, and I'm happy to be a member of this big community. And thank you. I think Mohammed and Rashid say what I want to say. All I want to say is thank you, my care, thank you.
My name is Liam Mut. I'm from South Sudanese community. First of all, I want to say thank you for my care, New Hope Foundation, for the privileged opportunity to create awareness within the community. Thank you, my mate. Thank you very much for good communication skill. And again, you stand up day and night to send that sort of messages. People will be aware for it. Great job. Keep it up all the time. I have no more to say than the skill I learned within this program. And I think it is your call and my call as well to take the skill we learn from the domestic violence on how we can deliver in our community. How can we support our community? But it's starting from ourselves, as the community members as well too. And we stand up here before as the community leaders. The knowledge we learned, the skill we get, it is a way forward to put into practice so we can support our community and our people as well too. Above all, it is a responsibility on how we can translate the terminologies in terms of domestic violence. I know all of us come from different culture. It is hard to identify what is the language or what is meant by domestic violence. So it's simple to ignoring all those sort of things. And it is a good for myself and my community. I should say that sometimes because of the lack of cultural awareness in relation to rule of laws and all those sort of things has contributed into the community that bring a lot of tension within. To me personally, I think it's a privilege for me. And above all, thank you so much, and we keep in touch with the hard work we do. Thank you.
I'm struggling to find words to say thanks to the organization for what they have done. My name is Tim Jesse, and I'm the public relations officer for the Liberian community in Victoria, and I have worked as a liaison officer between the community and Victoria Police. The reason I say I struggle to say thanks to the organization, because as an experienced community leader, having such a session, very important, because why? Immigrants that come to Australia, they struggle with the legal and the justice system. because of cultural differences. Family and domestic violence is a lot in the African community because of cultural differences. There are a lot of breach of intervention order. Why? Because the parents find it frustrating of how the child protection law even work, and the men too, because of cultural differences in the community, they feel the power have been taken from them, seen as the parents or the woman. Because sometimes the man doesn't have job, and the woman getting money from the government, and the respect based on cultural differences, the man is saying, oh, the woman doesn't want to respect me. So looking at the session we had, things we learned, it tried to give us more understanding about how the Australian culture works. Because looking at that, we can say, yes, these are the problems people are having because of how the system works. Looking at the system in Australia, many find it confusing because of where they are coming from. And we now, as a leader, having that session to say, yes, we are learning this, to pass it on to the community. But the session we have, the reason why it's interesting, we have to give example of what are the problems in the community too, not just learning. But we're happy to give example to say these are the problems, so you guys can look at the problem too, giving all information going to help, but both to say yes, these are the problems. What causing the problem? That is why I found it very interesting. And now going back to the community, I can say these are our problems, but these are the ways in which you can get in touch with people whenever you're having problems. So it's all about engagement. So having what we call community engagement, if the government can work with the leaders, knowing what the problem, we provide information to the government to say, okay, the recent problem in our community because people are unaware of the law. So if we can provide services that they're treating with the leader, educating us, it's going to help us to provide that information to our community and making the government to understand. So it's a very good opportunity, and the government is doing very well, because this is what they have to do with immigrants, making them understand the law and providing services that will help them to say, yes, these are the problems. Okay, how can we address the problem? So I really appreciate what the government is doing, and thanks to the organization for the engagement. That is what we call community engagement, because it will help the community a lot, and people that work in the leadership too will have good understanding of what information to provide the community. So thanks for that, and we are happy for it.
My name is Rebecca Mpande. I wear a lot of community hats. However, I'll just introduce myself as 3 hats. One of them is I am the Vice Secretary of the African Women and Families Network, working with Teresa there, who is the President of the network. Thank you. And then a similar work focusing on families and young people. I am the Vice President for Africa Day Australia, just abbreviated as ADA. And our focus again is related to ensuring that there is health and safe and positive relationships among families and communities. The third one is African Ministerial Working Group, and that is where I'll link the second question that I am to answer this afternoon. I am a member of the African Ministerial Working Group, which is working on the current draft of the Victorian African Communities Action Plan. Now, just to be as brief as I can, my learning from this program, I'll just focus on 3 main points. 1, awareness of the types and causes of family violence. The challenge that I have come out of this program is that I assumed certain types of family violence and then the causes. One of the challenges is that when I listened to the types of behaviors, negative and positive behaviors, I ended up, of course, questioning or asking myself about my values, principles, and the principles and values that are upheld within our community. It is a challenge to me, as well as I guess to the African community. Will we still keep on holding on to some of our cultural values, which might be in conflict within the context that we are living in and we have chosen to live in? Secondly, I've come out of this program with this heavy responsibility. You bear with me. This certificate, I don't want it just to be a paper that can just attain or accumulate dust on a shelf. To me, this is a symbol, a reminder that I have a responsibility to be a voice within my community, an active voice within my community, so that I can inspire others to join hands with me, and together we can take up that leadership to speak up against family violence of whatever nature. So to me, that paper will keep on reminding me of that responsibility. And hence today, I'm wearing white just to show that I support the great cause of this program. The third learning is that, I've already touched it, communities are the voices of everyone in the community. So here we are, the last session was on community voices. We have been charged to go out there and inspire others, design programs, and so forth. It is a heavy responsibility, which I know on my own, the voices were clear. I can't do it. However, I need to partner, collaborate with other interested individuals as well as organizations, and then we go out there and reach out to many people so that family violence can be reduced. Our children, our women, or the wives, their husbands, the men, the young people should live in a safe and secure Victorian multicultural society. Now, the second question, ways in which my community will benefit from this program. Just a few ways. First of all, empowerment. I believe that I have to go out there with my team. I'll say my team or our team. Our team is composed of Malawians, and then you have Ugandan and Liberian. Have I mentioned all three? Yes, Liberian, Sierra Leone. So we are to work together and design appropriate programs which will help us, of course, to disseminate the information. Secondly, of course, my desire or my intention is that working with the group that I am in to alert people, sensitize them of the available services. They need to know where to go to. And then, related to that, engage some of the presenters from this program. We can't just say, okay, after the 6 sessions, we know everything. Oh, now we can go out there on our own. I don't think so. We still need to engage these presenters and say, here we are, we have organized our communities, can you do a presentation, so that they listen from an expert. Not so. Everybody would like to hear from an expert, somebody who is a professional. And then last but 2, I said that one of the things is I will make sure that I further advocate for the equality and fairness and respect in which the woman needs to be treated. treated. Women need to be treated with respect because they are a great influence within the family as well as the community. That's why I said, as a member of the African Ministerial Working Group, some of the learnings from here and suggestions, they should be reflected in there so that indeed there is a safe and secure environment for the families in this multicultural society.
Nazrin asked me if I could also give a bit more information about White Ribbon Day. So today is the 25th of November, which is White Ribbon Day we know as in Victoria, but also is a significant date worldwide, because worldwide the 25th of November is known as the International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women. So I think that's nice for us to think that today in other communities around the world, people are also doing community events to look at the elimination of violence against women.
It's Hassan Rashid. I'm from the Western Suburbs Somaliland Youth League, and mainly all the Somali youths around the Western Suburbs area. Before I get into what I've learned from this program, I'd like to thank everybody that has given me the opportunity to be part of this, especially Nazrin, who's done a fabulous job. So proud of you. Everybody will be proud of you, I guarantee you that. And also Pamela, Teresa, my auntie who's standing beside me here. Yeah, it's actually been an honour to be part of this program. And I didn't think I was going to benefit a lot from when I first started. You know, so I just participated for the sake of it. But you know, it's made me realise that family violence is across the board, regardless of nationality, religion, colour or otherwise. And it's something that affects our day-to-day lives, be it family, friends, community members, maybe the neighbour across the road. And it made me more realise that we don't actually know what goes on inside the doors of everybody's house. You know, the people you might come across on a day-to-day basis where they act normal, they're happy, but really inside the house when they close that front door could be hell for them. It's benefited me to understand, you know, all the important information and the details, and also will allow me to take these skills that I've learnt in this program back to my community members, especially in the Western Suburbs, which I mainly you know, hang around, for lack of a better word, and individual, you know, benefit people individually or as a group, and pass those skills on to them and say, you know, it's okay to reach out and speak about what affects each and every one of you guys personally or otherwise. Thank you for the opportunity, and I'll pass on to the next member.
My name is Mohammed. I am the Vice President of the Sierra Leone community in Victoria. The Sierra Leone community has got membership within the three regions, that is the Southeast, the West, and the Northern regions. And 4 of us were here, but unfortunately today, the 3 others are not available because we've got a very important wedding. But I decided as the Vice President of the organization to come and represent the Sierra Leone community. And apart from that, today is a very important day, White Ribbon Day. That's why I've decided to wear my white shirt and not my cultural dress, because I strongly support violence towards women or towards anyone. I enjoy peace in any environment. That's why I'm here, because my country was not peaceful 10 years ago. About the program, thanks very much for the organizers for inviting us, giving us the opportunity to come and attend a very knowledgeable, important program like this. We've learned a lot, and be rest assured that we are going to organize our community in the 3 regions to share the knowledge that we've gained from this training. That may not happen before the end of 2017, but the early part of 2018, in the name of God, it will happen. We will go around, educate our people about what we've learned, as I said earlier, and help them to know especially the type of abuses that I learned a lot about here. Some of these things, or some of the type of abuses I never knew. I knew personally, but I'm sure other people in my community were not aware of that. For instance, verbal abuse, saying that you are a bad parent. Not everybody is a bad parent. Sometimes you do mistakes. Nobody is perfect. But to do that, unknowing that is part of abuse. Emotional abuse. Sometimes we don't respect our partners and give them the respect they deserve at home, on both sides. But because of this training, I've learned something that I will share with my community. Social abuse, isolation. We try to isolate our partners, not going out to see their families, to see their friends, because we want to control them. All is about power and control. Financial abuse, that is very common, but people don't take that as as an abuse, because they are not aware of it. Like controlling the money. Your wife will be working, earning something or getting some benefit, you try to control it. Or your husband will be working, you try to control the money. That means you are controlling him or her, not allowing the person to do what he or she wants. Not many people are aware of that in some of our communities. Sexual abuse. In some communities, we feel sex is mandatory. That's what that's why we are allowed to come together as partners. But in the Australian community, it's an abuse if you force your partner on both sides for sex. Physical abuse is a big one. That's the one that everybody is aware of. And hitting, pushing, that may cause injury and even death. That's also a very important one that we can share with our partners. Stalking, that is following somebody, like an ex-partner, somebody, you like somebody and the person says, I don't love you anymore. I don't want us to be together anymore. And you start to stalk that person, start to follow the person, send texts, telephone calls, trying to pay people to go and watch what he or she is doing. That is part of abuse. But some communities don't realize that those are abuses. So we will take this news, we will take this information, we will take this knowledge to our community to let them know that that is not okay. So we promise to do that, and that's one of the big things that I learned from this training, and I will put that into practice. I promise. I will put that into practice not by forcing myself, not by power and control, but by negotiation. I will negotiate with my community, I will discuss with my community, and we'll take this news around to inform people about it in our community. With that, I say thank you again to the organizers, and I hope we will all work together as we are doing during the training. We shared our views about different cultures, from different cultures, and we hope we'll take that together and we'll continue to work together as a community. Thank you all.
My name is Fatma Musa, and I am FRAB worker. FRAB stands for Family Reproductive Rights Education Program. I work in Monash Health. I've been working with a project which is called FRAB, which is as I say, Family Reproductive Rights Education Program. It's about female genital mutilation, how to stop, these affected communities coming to Australia, not to practice in Australia. So I've been working in this project for the last 16 years, and I work with a lot of different communities, not only my community, but I work all affected communities, which is, I can say, like Sudanese, Somalis, Ethiopia, and like also Yemen, Indonesia, and many countries. there's 24, 25 countries which is practice FGM. So they mainly, many of them migrated to Australia, and actually most of them, they live in different area, but in the city of Great Darjeeling we have a big number. So my job is to educate the community and also to work with staff who is working with affected communities. I work with social workers, I work with midwives, I work with the doctors. I do a lot of sessions with midwives, doctors, and nurses. So my job is actually like education, support also my community who has been affected for a long time. Not only my community, but all affected communities. So I do range of area, which is city of Great Darjeeling, Casey, and Kishiton, and Monash. So I work in a lot of area. So I work part-time, but that's my job is to support this affected community who've been through a lot, been through violence, been through war, and a lot of problem. So I work as a community leader. So I do a lot of job with the community. So my job is just educating the community and staff and who is working with this community.
Thank you. So can you tell me what subject are you going to talk about today? What's the conversation?
Today I'm talking a little bit about myself, what I'm doing with the community, and also I have a DVD which is a new project mainly for African community. This DVD called HBV, so it is human pneumonia virus. So this is vaccine which is for the teenagers from age 12, I think 10 to 18, and it's free at the moment, but maybe there's a cost if you don't do it now, or like through the school, or like to the GBO or consult which is there available all this area. So if you don't take advantage and do now, it'll cost you like 450.
Thank you.
This is Senga Gasali. I'm a community leader. Also, I am the chairperson for the African Women and Families Network. Also, I'm a senior social worker with the New Hope Foundation. And this program it is in partnership with the New Hope Foundation, the African Communities, African Women and Families Network, and the FARA and the Production Program. And the aim of the whole program is, which is called Family Safety Ambassador Training Program. It is developed in the need to work to assist our communities, and mainly because it doesn't only deal with family violence only, but it covers a wide range of and strategies of working with the communities, conflict resolution, communicating with young people, more of a holistic looking at communication and also family relationship breakdown, which covers a wide range of strategies. And the workshops we have involved from legal service perspective, the police, family violence organizations, for mediation or conflict resolution, just link health, just general health programs, and also the communities themselves which have been part of it. And also the importance of this program that we working in partnership with the communities. They are the ambassador who can transmit the information. And this is not only for, though this covers African communities in the South, but we are also covering a wide range of other communities in the West, even in regional areas. And it is for everybody, not only for the Africans.
My name is Joseph Moot. I'm one of the community of sub-clan called League Community. And then I advise with something what they should go on, and they don't know about it. And then my position here, not here in duration, I am studying the Bachelor of Community of Mental Health, Alcohol and Other Drugs in Fusium Tech. It's a partnership with Minaj, and that one is regarding with the health of the community, and it's a part of the workshop. And then I'm happy to attend this workshop because it relates to something I represent in my course, and then would be taken on my future. And my objective here about today is about information of the community, and then how can I transform that knowledge where I got from this workshop in the future of my community. And then this is what I want, and this is what made me happy to take that opportunity to my community.
My name is Ibrahim Ali. Mainly I work with Southeast Somalian youths against the violence, the drugs and the alcohols. So always wherever they needed helps, we always try to go and help with those people what they needed.
At 12 or 13 years old, when the immune system is strong.
This is the best age when HPV infection.
Before getting married, having a partner, or before a sexual activity starts.
The vaccine is given by nurse or doctor at 2 different appointments.
It's important to get both doses to maximize protection.
There is also an important message for all the females.
When a girl becomes an adult, it's important that she still has cervical.
My name is Omar Marzouk. Unfortunately, in Australia at the moment, we have an epidemic, and it revolves around family violence. And as a country and as a nation, we need to move towards developing respectful relationships in our homes and with our loved ones. And I'm here to speak with My Care, New Hope Foundation. Thank you very much.
And this is about, or even before that. And this is 2017. I migrated to Australia 2003. And today is the first time that I've heard about it, which may not be surprising. Maybe there are more people who, that's my first point, who haven't heard about, they are not aware of it. 2, is this vaccine for all communities in Australia, or it's just for Africans?
That's a good question. That's a good question. It's not for the African. That's what we believe, but that's for everyone. Everyone, all nationality, you name it, for everyone. So this is for everyone, and I'm glad we're here today. And I think as a teacher in this school, that's really fantastic. You can encourage your students. So that's why we did the DVD, just to let our community to know that's not only for us, it's for everyone, and it's happening in the schools now. But we are the people who are behind. I believe it's maybe affecting fertility or something like this, which is not. So that's why I'm really happy to hear this, but that's good question. Yes.
But it is talking about sex, and we don't want to teach our children, encourage them to have sex.
No.
This is true, and that's what people tell me in the community.
I know, we don't encourage sex or anything. We encourage them to have this vaccine. You don't know what's happening outside. You're not with your children all the time. But in case they do anything, be safe.
Fatuma, my third point was I missed the use or why, the reason for the vaccine.
The reason?
What is it used for?
Well, I can, actually, because the time is short now, I have the PowerPoint also, but I can show you the, if we, I don't have the time, I would.
What does it prevent?
It prevent people not to get cancer, and it is like it's like different cancer. Early people, if they have, if they go, have a sex at the young age, maybe they will be, maybe one of them has infection and maybe the other one not have the infection. But this is protection.
In the video it said it prevents
prevent. It's not
anal, anus.
All type of cancer, it's prevention.
Cervical cancer?
All cancer, it prevents.
Yes. This vaccine, according to you, is really important because anything like medication, preventive is very important. But my question is, like Rebecca said, it's me to have been here since 2008, not too long, but I've never heard about this vaccine. Do the government know about this vaccine?
Oh my God, yes. Yes, thank you very much. Yes, the government know.
You have to vaccine your children.
It's been around.
But I've never heard about this other in TV.
I'm glad you heard today.
Yeah. So
Mama, you heard that?
This is a good way to make everybody aware. I've never heard of it until now. So there is. This is just the start, and there's a lot that we probably don't know about.
I agree with you. Why I'm saying that? Because like recently, there is this other vaccine. If you don't give your children, they don't even pay you. The school vaccine, I know about that because I rushed to do that, so otherwise they don't pay my grandkids. But with this, I've never heard about this. I'm sorry to say this.
No.
Another question is, did you say it can, because like the importance of this vaccine is, like you said, it can prevent cancer.
It prevents it.
Yeah,
not
so
you prevent.
Yeah, sure. It's very important.
Still you can have your pap smear. Every year you have to have your pap smear. As a woman, we all have pap. Men don't take pap smear, but as a woman, we can have this vaccine as a prevention. But still we have to have every year the pap smear.
So is this different from HIV?
This is nothing to do with HIV. No, it's different. This is vaccine for human. This is a virus.
The virus, different.
It's a virus. It prevents that virus. It has nothing to do with
this is a powerful vaccine.
But this virus can cause prevent it. And I think Mama heard about it, so.
I only heard about it because the kids come home from school with
form
that says sign they're going to get this
vaccine.
It's a particular age, I think, just
I don't know if we have a time we can put the PowerPoint and you can see.
It's very important.
The vaccine comes from the word vaccination. That one. But I heard it when I in Africa. Sometimes they may come across.
Maybe we can use 10 minutes. I can show you the PowerPoint here. Look at the PowerPoint.
It's about year 9? Year 9?
No, they start from year 7. From year 7.
So what's the way forward? Because please. What's the way forward? Is now seems that majority of us here are only getting to know about it here. And so, if we were not here, we would not have known. What is the plan for it to be sold out to the communities?
Or even with the
say whether in schools, in the communities, wherever. What's the plan? Say from now, say by 2018. People, X number of the population will know about it and do something about it.
No, what I would say, recommend on the 15th we have this Thursday we will have a session, our first session about HPV. Group of women are coming to show them and involve them. If you come to that session, we'll give you also a folder, so you take to your community and show them.
Specialised mediation services that deal with family violence issues themselves. So it's like lifelong relationships.
What we find with sort of families and households, it's interesting because some of you here work with asylum seekers and newly arrived communities. Often you have people sharing houses, you know, economically, and sometimes indeed community. So that's where we can sit down with everybody.
I would like to conclude by saying that this program didn't only focus on family violence, it focused on well-being of the family. And it included programs like communication, relationship building, respective relationship, which means respecting the whole family. Not only focusing on family violence, but also other well-being of the family and the children. So, and I think that also made it more appropriate for our communities.